last week we learned about Ellie the elephant, and then it reminded me of another story that I had about an elephant. His name is Elmer, and he is a patchwork elephant. And patchwork are patterns. And I know we learned about patterns, but it seemed like so long ago. I thought this would be a great week to remember what those were. So a pattern is something that repeats. So it could be done with letters like A, B, A, B, A, B. It could be done with colors. It could do blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. You can do stripes. You could do zigzag stripe, zigzag stripe, zigzag stripe. You could do shapes. So there's so many things that patterns do. And so my wonderfully patterned elephant felt that he was very different from everybody. But you know what? Being different is pretty awesome. All right, so this is a great story. I'm going to read it to you right now. Elmer by David McKee. There was once a herd of elephants. Elephants young, elephants old, elephants tall and short, fat and thin. All were different, but all were happy, and almost all were the same color. All except Elmer. Elmer was not elephant color. He was patchwork. Elmer was yellow and orange and red and pink and purple and blue and green and black and white. It was Elmer who kept the other elephants happy. Their games and jokes were always his idea. If an elephant was laughing, the cause was usually Elmer. But Elmer himself wasn't happy. Who ever heard of a patchwork elephant, he thought. No wonder they laugh at me. One morning, just as the others were waking up, Elmer slipped away. As he walked through the jungle, Elmer met other animals. Good morning, Elmer, they said. After a long walk, Elmer found what he was looking for, a large bush covered with elephant-colored berries. Elmer caught a hold of the bush and shook it until the berries fell to the ground. Then Elmer lay down and rolled over on the berries, this way and that. He picked up bunches of berries and rubbed himself all over until he was covered with berry juice. When he was finished, there wasn't a sign of any yellow or orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white. Elmer looks like any other elephant. On his way back through the jungle, Elmer passed the other animals. Good morning, elephant, they said. When Elmer rejoined the herd, none of the other elephants noticed him. As he stood there, Elmer felt that something was wrong. But what? He looked around. The same old jungle, the same old blue sky, the same old rain cloud, same old elephants. The other elephants were standing absolutely still, silent and serious. Elmer had never seen them so serious before. It made him want to laugh. Finally, he could bear it no longer. He lifted his trunk and at the top of his voice shouted, "Boo!" The other elephants jumped in surprise. Elmer was helpless with laughter. Then the others began to laugh. Too bad Elmer isn't here to share the fun, they said, laughing harder and harder. And then the rain cloud burst. When the rain fell on Elmer, his patchwork started to show again. Oh, Elmer, gasped the old elephant as Elmer had washed back to normal. You've played some good jokes, but this has been the biggest laugh of all. What would we do without you? We must celebrate this day each year, said another, the day of Elmer's best joke. All of us elephants will decorate ourselves in his honor, said a third, and Elmer will decorate himself elephant color. And one day each year, the elephant colors themselves yellow and orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white and have a parade. So if you happen to see an elephant in the Elmer's Day Parade who is an ordinary elephant color, you will know it must be Elmer. hand. So let's take a quick look. Look at all these patterns. These elephants have flower patterns, striped patterns, polka dot patterns, heart patterns. Okay, so we are going to be making some patterned elephants today. So I love this story because you know what? We are all each unique, and it's a great story about standing out and being your own person. And so to help us remember that, we're going to be making our own Elmers today, which is going to be bright and colorful and patchy, and look at all the patterns. Okay, so you are going to need your workbook as well as some markers and crayons and colored pencils and paints and whatever you want to use. All right, so grab your art materials and let's get started. All right, so the first thing we need is our workbook. And if you pull to the back, you'll see some coloring sheets, and one of those is our Elmer the elephant. So grab that. Have an adult try to pull the page out for you. You might need scissors to cut it without ripping, but you can pull that right out and put your workbook away. All right, so here is my Elmer the elephant. So we know that he is patchwork, which is a type of pattern, and patterns are things that repeat like lines and shapes and colors. So we're going to start with some crayons first. So I might add some patterns. So maybe I'm going to start over here and I'll do some hearts. I'm also going to show you what happens when you use white. So maybe right here I left a nice big space. I'm going to add some white stars, which I know you can't see with my camera, but I'm about to show you something amazing. Now I'm going to pull out my watercolor paints. If you don't have watercolor paints, that is absolutely fine. You can color your elephants. But here's what happened. Remember those white stars that I did that you can't see? I'm going to get my paint. Remember, you got to add water. Watch what happens when I fill in that space. What? There are my stars. How cool is that? Wash, 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 brush, brush, brush. Let's keep filling in those colors. So it looks like Elmer is almost dry. So remember how we said he was a patchwork elephant? So that's a special type of pattern that is often used in quilting where they put patches of fabric together. So if you have any paper, scrap paper, you can cut it up into little squares and we can glue some of those on him to make him patchwork. So I've got some regular colored paper. I got some fancy scrapbook paper. Now look at that colorful patterned elephant. All right, so here is my finished Elmer the elephant. Okay, I've got lots of patterns like swirls and zigzags, and this is a crayon resist technique that we do crayon with the paints on top. So I hope you had fun making your elephant. I also glued it onto a blue paper and decided to give him a home. And I know that he lives in the jungle, so I did some trees and some flowers and some grass. Okay, so feel free to cut out your elephant, glue it on. But whatever you do, make sure you take a picture of it and share it back to me. All right.